I'm going to offer you we'll go with this in a minute. I'm going to offer you a model that helps you craft your marketing, regardless of what it is, whether it's internal or external, or whether it's the way the phone's answered, or whether you're writing a letter or an email. Who has just seen Trussit's presentation? Cool, huh? Yeah. If you haven't seen it, watch the film when you get a chance. I'm going to demonstrate this rather than just teach it to you, though. So here we go. These gentlemen are heroes of mine. I know two of them. They make this. It's called Sangiovese Rubicon. It's one of my favorites. And my marketing goal now is to give some of this away. Fair dues? So I'm going to expose you to a marketing campaign that's going to shift some wine, right? And Jane has really pushed the boat out. She's spent a lot of money on this. This is not cheap plonk, right? And these guys make it. They live here in Emilia-Romagna, in northern Italy. Anybody buy any products from Emilia-Romagna? I'll bet you do. Who here has eaten Parma ham in the last year? Who here is Parmesan cheese? Balsamic vinegar? Who here drives a Ferrari? Or a Lamborghini? Or wears an Armani suit? This place, Emilia-Romagna, seems to be full of massively successful, passionate businessmen, and the world insists on visiting them and buying their products. They've got something going for them, haven't they? They've got it right. How would you like it if you were that good, if you were that famous? What would it be like in your practice? If the world knew about your dedication and your passion for your subject so that they beat a path to your door. This particular bottle of wine, the other wine that's made in Emilia-Romagna, by the way, is not one of my favourites. It's Lambrusco. Nasty stuff. But this is a beaut, right? In the tasting notes, it says that it's a deep red flavour. It's a deep red colour with hints of violet. The bouquet is of wild cherries and little red fruits. It could say it's a bouquet, wild squirrels, who knows? Wild cherries, little red fruits. And on the palate, it is light and dry and sensual. In Clark speak, it's cracking barbecue wine. Sit round and knock back half a dozen of these with your mates and you have a really wonderful evening. So we're going to give away some Sangiovese, and as I say, it's not cheap. Put it down gently, Clark, revere it. Now, there is one other famous son of Emilia-Romagna that you may or may not know, and he's all to do with how you can get your hands on a bottle of this wine. Here's the man, here's the cue to tell you a little bit more about who he did. Anybody know his name? Giuseppe Verdi, thank you very much, sir. Now then, to win the wine, can you just turn it down a bit for me, John? Thank you. To win the wine, you have to name the opera, and I'll give you a clue. Is it The Pirates of Peterborough? Is it B, Rigatoni? Is it C, Aida? Or is it D, The Badger of Seville? That was the first hand up. Aida. Aida, marvellous. Let's hear if this gentleman here who clearly knows his wine, could you pass that back? He clearly knows his wine and his opera, a cultured man. Aida. Those of you who've been in Trussit's Excellent Workshop know a little bit about the Aida already. This is something that was originally written for copywriters. We've developed it, other people have developed it, it's not uniquely mine. You can test every element of your marketing with Aida. And I'd like you to test how well I just marketed that wine with Aida. So, it stands for Attention, Interest, Desire and Action. A lot of you know that. Can we switch to the slides, please? What I'd like you to do is tell me, how well did I get your attention? In other words, I started waving a bottle of wine about and talking about a bottle of wine. Did I grab your attention? Did you notice there was a man up here making a noise, talking about wine? Off you go. Totally, mostly, you woke me up. Have you started yet? Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. What have we got? There's always one, isn't there? There's always one. So what have we got? 82%, totally or mostly, I got your attention. That's excellent. Now, do we want everybody in the, say, 10 miles radius of your practice, do we want to attract everybody? Absolutely not. We want to attract the people who are most likely to come and work with us, buy from us. So that's great. I've already filtered out some of you. Fair dues. Next question. How interested were you to find out more? So I started rattling on about the Parma Ham Man and the area in Italy. We talked about Ferrari and Lamborghini and Giorgio Armani, and we talked a little bit more about the passion and how brilliant your business could be if you were as good as them. How interested were you? Very mostly, somewhat slightly. Can I have my point yet? And what do we get? I can take it. This, ladies and gentlemen, is good marketing. You see, I've filtered out some more of the tire kickers. I've got rid of some of the ones we don't want to be talking to, because remember, my marketing goal was to get rid of some wine. So I don't want to talk to you lot now. Or I didn't then. We're back together again now. So what have we got there? 40, getting on for 60-odd%. So, next question. How much did you desire the wine? Did it work? Very much, pretty much, take it or leave it. We talked about little red fruits, what it was like on the nose, great barbecue wine. I think I sold it reasonably well. What did you think? And let's see what we got. Again, we've got 52% now. So I've got rid of a good chunk of you now who aren't that keen on the wine. But 52% are still very keen. They're the ones I want to talk to. Of the others, you don't necessarily have to hallucinate that because somebody doesn't buy your message, it's all about you. For these guys, it may be that they don't drink wine. It may be that they don't drink red wine. It may be that they don't drink Italian wine. It may be they don't have any friends they could give a bottle of wine to. It's not my problem. I wanted to shift some wine, so I'm going to focus on these guys now. Okay, now, calls to action, really important. So next question. Did you understand what action to take? I said, put your hand up, tell me what the opera was, and I hope I gave you a clue. So, were you clear on what you had to do? Very clear, quite clear, more? I hadn't the faintest idea what you're on about. And there's going to be some smart Alex down the bottom. Okay, off we go. That's good. Around the same number who said they were interested in the wine also were aware of what to do next. The ones who weren't interested had already gone off and they were playing Nintendo in their brains, that's fine. And they hadn't a clue or they weren't sure simply because they were tuned out. But the ones who knew what to do, let's say 69% knew what to do. Next question, last question. Did you actually put your hand up and say, I want the wine? And I was watching, so don't lie. Yes or no? And what do we get? Now then, this is where this whole marketing campaign fell over, isn't it? Because only 18% put their hand up. And yet we know that 60-odd% knew the answer, and 60-odd% wanted the wine, desired the wine. They fancied trying out those little red fruits. But only 18% put their hand up. Why? Because I created an emotional barrier to entry. I ran a campaign that at the end left people feeling unsure. Why did I do that? How did I do that? Well, simply, I asked you to put your own hand up in a room full of strangers and expose yourself to the risk of some noisy guy picking on you, didn't I? Mm-hmm. I made you feel uncomfy, but oh. And there's a fair few of you going, oh. Hands up. And a few went, and this brave gentleman here knew his stuff and he wasn't scared of me. He went, I'll have that wine, please. Yes, I eat it. I know what I'm talking about. And I think this is one of the most important aspects of marketing, regardless of whether it's on the telephone, whether it's a leaflet drop, a TV campaign. What are the emotional barriers to entry that you create for your potential customers as they either choose to phone you, and you get one of those things?
If you would like to lose the will to live while listening to lift music, press 1.
No! And all that stuff that went beforehand goes in one of those awful automated phone calls. Or you stand across the road from the practice and it looks quite nice and it's clean and it's tidy and you wander in and you open the door, look in, and there's a receptionist there with a face like a bulldog sucking a wasp. And you go, oh. And something makes you feel insecure. Are we emotional, logical people? We're all emotional people, and it's how we feel that drives these decisions. So we better make sure that as we create our marketing campaigns, we get the emotional decisions just right, hadn't we?